Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hola, welcome everybody. RJH live stream Friday, the 21st of May, 2021. Welcome from myself at a secret location. So I'd need to kill you. So top secret, how's that? Just on a little vacation, visiting some family, and thought getting some momentum with the live stream, didn't want to give it a miss. So here I am in my hotel room, the hotel room with a view. Absolutely stunning, apart from the weather. So anyway, welcome everybody to the RJH live stream. Tonight's subject, Module 1. So we're going to be talking about everything Module 1. Before I do that, please do subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video, comment away. But also very important is to set the reminder on for next week. Next Friday, the 28th, is live stream. I'm going to do a discussion on first big bikes. One of the most popular questions people ask me when they do the training, when they pass the test, what bike, and so next week, next Friday, is all about which first big bike. Okay, so some top tips coming your way there, so do set that reminder on. So what I want to do, what I'll start with, is our sort of weekly congratulations to all of the trainees that have come through RJ, also Northwich, for those that have come along for the first experience on a motorbike or moped on a taster session, completing their CBTs, completing their Module 1s and Module 2s, and we've had a really, really busy week. So very, very good work from them in what has been also appalling weather conditions. So the weather conditions have been really, really bad. It's been wet, it's been windy, the sky has been moody. So well done to everybody for that. Also, I would like to congratulate all of those that have messaged me on YouTube from up and down the country to thank us for the videos that have contributed also to them passing their tests, whether that be CBTs or Module 1s and Module 2s. We get a lot of feedback, and remember, the feedback really, really is important to us. Positive feedback makes me want to make more videos. So keep those comments and positive vibes coming my way. Now, as I am on a little vacation from a secret location, I can't tell you where I am because I'd have to kill you. So, but anyway, because of that, the weekly competition will not be going ahead because Charlie isn't with me to do the questions, but I will honour the free CBT worth £199 across any of our 3 sites if I receive 100 watchers at the same time. So keep commenting, keep sharing, and let's spread the video. Let's build that community watching the live streams every Friday night. And whether it's tonight or one of the week coming up, I will be giving away a free CBT. So that's going to be the ongoing competition. Also, how do I look? I've had a haircut. I've managed to go and get my haircut. Number 1 and 2, keeping the top a bit longer at the moment. But so a little bit more relaxed tonight, and hopefully we'll have a good session. So that's all about tonight. So stay tuned. and let's get cracking. So let's see who we've got on board. I might need to put the main lights on because the light's going a little bit dark, but I'll see how I go. ID Ryder, good evening. Good evening, Dave. Lisa, good evening. Chris, good evening. Darren, good evening. Hooley, 3, good evening. Chris Simpson, good evening. You've just passed your mod 2. Great. I hope the videos have given you some assistance. Matt, good evening. Janine W. I've already bought my big bike and can't wait to it. Yeah, well done, Janine, on your mod 1 pass, and do watch the channel for mod 2 videos. We have live streams. There's a playlist of live streams go on. I think it was 1 or 2 weeks ago we discussed everything about module 2, but we have a lot of videos on the module 2, so get watching them. So currently 20 people watching the channel. Thank you very much, and keep doing so and keep spreading it. The I-20, hey, I'm looking at starting my training soon and picked up RJH support time to get my license. Good, well done. I-20, where are you doing your training, fella? Matt, would you say doing tons of roadcraft would up your chance of passing both module? Roadcraft, absolutely. It is not going to do you any harm whatsoever. Roadcraft more so for module 2, not for module 1. Robbie, good evening. ID Rider, you look very pixelated, blurry even. Yeah, I'm not on my normal computer, so I'm away from the office. I am on vacation, so I've just got my trusted Apple laptop, so not the normal quality, but I'm here, you're here, so let's have some fun. ID Rider, good evening, sir, to you too, ID Rider. Philip Badmans, evening all, loving the videos, currently starting my Model 1 journey. So tonight then Philip will help you. So stay tuned. Currently 23 people watching. That is a fantastic. So let's keep it up. I might need to get some more light in the room in a minute because it is currently looking quite dark over here, but we'll see how we go. That's better. Loving you, Doctor. Been riding 6 years. Finally got my mods in 5 weeks. Already got an MT-07. Nice bike. Looking forward to all the best. Everyone, stay tuned, DR Doctor, because tonight is all about module 1, and next week I am going to be looking at module 2 again. So stay tuned. Subscribe to the channel. Nearsighted from the far side. She kicked you out. No. That would be wishful thinking. No, wouldn't. So it must be quiet. The I-20, I'm looking at Eccles as closest to me, about 20 minutes walk. Yeah, come down, speak to us, see Graham. Graham's down at Eccles, he'll look after you. Philip Glazier, module 1 for me on Wednesday. Now, Philip Glazier. Philip, you're with us, I think, aren't you? I'm sure Philip is training with us. So, Philip, watch the video. I'm going to be going through things, not that you won't have already gone through it already with us, but I'm going to be going through it. Nearsighted from the far side. Evening, chaps and chapsesses. Good evening. LBC1 NU1. Hi, everyone. Have I missed anything? Not so far. I've not even got started on tonight, just the introductions. But the benefit also of the live streams is that it's on the channel, so you can come back and watch it at any time. You can play it back and play it back and play it back. That is the beauty. Handy timing on the video. Yes, got my model on next week, and your videos are extremely helpful. So quite a good following tonight. 26 people currently watching, so that's good. In 10 minutes, I'm happy with that. 27 people currently watching. For those that have just joined, welcome to RJH's live stream on Friday, the 21st of May, 2021. All about Mod 1, the Module 1 test. As you can see, I am in a secret location. I can't tell you where I am because I'd have to kill you. So yep. So none of not able to give it away. Been looking at some gear and a possible bike. Let's go in for that. Good man. Fantastic. So let's have a look then. A lot of people then that are on the channel, on the video tonight. 25 people currently watching. We've got quite a few people watching tonight that have got their module 1s coming up. So this video is going to help you. And I'm interested to know how you've come across the video then. Is it on your recommend pages? Yep, Phil, you are with us. Good man. Yep. So nice rider, Philip. You are making our job nice and easy, I have to say, young man. Good evening, Claire. And Claire is currently riding a nice Honda Rebel. Dave Smith, it's cold tonight too. Had to put in on it. It's been like that all week, Dave. It's been an absolutely horrendous week. So I must just thank myself, but also all the instructors, because we've been teaching in some really horrendous conditions. We've been wet. It's been cold. It's been windy. The sky has been moody. Where is our summer? That's all I can say. Where is our summer? So I'm quite pleased. It was on my notifications being a subscriber. Fantastic, Philip. Good. Fantastic. I mean, I do sort of set the schedule as I have done next week. So next week's, everybody, I'm going to be talking about the first big bike, your first bike after passing your Mod 2. Top tips, which only spoke to the channel about 5 days ago when I was looking at BCT and all that. Tell me about the weather. Yes, well, it has been bad. Sorry, CBT, it has been bad. Anyway, so tonight, let's get back to it. Be on for a couple of hours, not a problem. So this is what I thought about tonight. You see that? This is your Module 1. Module 1. That is a Module 1 circuit. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go through everything. Any questions, everybody? Any questions? Comment away, and I will answer them to the best of my ability. So where are you with Module 1? Where are you with Module 1? I suppose you will have done your CBT and you will have done your theory test, because you can't do your Module 1 test without those, although you can do your training, and quite often we will do training before we do the Module 1 test. And tests are hard to get by. Module 1 tests are hard to get by, although we have a fantastic booking office, we have a training facility, and we do get tests in advance. But at the moment, we're experiencing the busiest time that we have in 18 years. Tests are very hard to get. But you have to do your Module 1 before your Module 2, and you cannot do your Module 1 test until you've passed your CBT and your theory. Yeah, hitting a cone second time was white line on the U-turn. Here's the third time lucky. Yes, it's not uncommon, Angry Panda. Yeah, but you must keep at it. You have two choices. You give in or you keep at it. And we always favour the latter. Keep at it. You'll get there eventually. So Module 1. Let's talk about then. You've done your CBT. You've done your theory. So you shouldn't be turning up for your Module 1 in trainers or flip-flops or inappropriate gear. That should have all been dealt with by your instructors beforehand. But documentation you need to take to your Module 1 test is your card part of your license, your theory test certificate, your CBT certificate. So make sure you prepare yourself and have all those ready to take with you. RJH instructors will take those off you on the day of your test, so they will put them in a top box and take them with you. So you'll have one less thing for you to forget about. But you do need your card part of your license, or an old style license with a passport. It would need to be that. Still some of those kicking about. And CBT certificate, theory test certificate. Do not photocopy them. Bring the original copies. Very, very important. Original copies only. So we put them in a little file and then take them for you. So that's that. Also, on the day of your test, you need to wear the appropriate gear. So ankle protection as a minimum, denim jeans as a minimum, body armor, jacket, helmet, gloves, and a bib. All right. So we provide everything apart from the footwear. So make sure you do come on the day, ankle protection as a minimum. So documentation, very, very important. What you're wearing, very, very important. And one other top tip for you is get to your training centre early and on time. Don't leave it late, because you're putting pressure on your instructors, you're putting pressure on your fellow trainees that are going for tests, because generally there's going to be 2 of you. So get to your centre on time, a little bit before, be prepared. So that's that. And then you get yourself over to the test centre. And we use 8 different test centres in the Northwest. That's Darwin and Blackburn, Atherton, St Helens, Wrexham, Chester, Shrewsbury, Bredbury, Macclesfield. So we will use about 8 different test centres. Hence, we can get them quite quickly. So that's what we've covered there. It's stage 3 of 4. So you've got CBT theory, mod 1, mod 2. So mod 1 is stage 3. You know what you've got to wear, you know what you've got to bring, and what you need to do on that test day is demonstrate to the examiner in that secure facility that you have control of your machine in a variety of slow speed maneuvers and high speed maneuvers. Okay. So we know what we need to bring, we know what we need to wear, and we know what we need to demonstrate. So we're going to break all of those exercises. All of the exercises we're going to break down so that you have a good idea about what you're going to be needing to do. All right. So let's have a look. What else we got going? We're up 27 people watching. So keep commenting, keep sharing. Failed my first year cone. Michaela got my module 1 on the 8th of June. Well done you. Toby B. So fell first time, passed second time, I put my foot down on the U-turn. Best way I don't look down, as that's where you will go, look over your shoulder instead. Yes, good. When passing parked cars, do you always have to indicate your intention? No, you don't. I know you have to give a right lifesaver, but do you have to then give a left lifesaver when I've passed parked cars? Yes. You don't need to indicate to move around parked cars. So approaching the parked cars, get yourself into position 3, nice lifesaver. That can be your indication to vehicles behind, your road positioning and your lifesaver. Road positioning is probably one of the most powerful signals to anybody what you're intending to do. So if you're doing a lifesaver to come out, yeah, you'd need to do a lifesaver to go back in. Yes, you would. Is blading allowed? Is blading allowed? I do not know what blading is. I'm very sorry to say. So you need to let me know. You're very fuzzy, Rob. Yes, I'm on vacation, Claire. I am in a hotel room in a secret destination. I can't tell you where I am. It's a room with a view. I can't tell you where I am because I'd have to kill you. It's a bit top secret, but I'm not in my normal environment for a live stream. So do forgive me if the quality is not as good as normal. It will be when I'm back office-based next week. So, module 1. What else do we want? Let's have those questions. Any questions through on the module 1? Hey, it's good here, isn't it? 29 people watching. Can we get that any higher? I think the record was 62. I think we had 62 people watching at one time. I look 12 years younger. That's, I think, because I've had I had a shave. I went to had my eyebrows trimmed. I had my hair cut. And yeah, so that's what we like to hear. Thank you very much. I'll go with that. 12 years younger. What's the most common fail on module 1? What is the most common fail on module 1? I would say what causes the most common failing on module 1 is nerves. I would say it is nerves, because everybody that is presented for test, we present people to test because they're maneuvers on the day, nerves, and they don't. So yeah, nerves is going to be the most common cause of a failure on module 1, in my opinion. Now, statistically, the DVSA would have a specific fault that would be the most common, but what causes that fault is nerves. Yeah, nerves. Yeah. And what I am going to do, because the U-turn there straight away is people, because people come to us on the U-turn, they've got it in their head about a U-turn. And so I'm going to do a top tip pointers. So I'm going to put 10 different top tips to complete a successful U-turn, because there's about 10 top tips that I can give you guys and girls to complete a perfect U-turn. So I'm going to be doing that video. It's going to let the weather get a bit better. I'm going to be doing 10 top tips to complete a perfect U-turn. So where are we then? 23 people watching. Yeah, it's not bad. Please do remember to like the video. Let's get your comment in on the video and share it. So module 1. It's a standard multi-purpose test centre facility, and it's up and down the country. They're all the same pretty much, and you get a right circuit and a left circuit. The right circuit is all you're doing is going around one way or going around the other, and it's then your hazard avoidance. Your hazard avoidance could be a left hazard avoidance, or it could be a right hazard avoidance. So the first exercise is manual handling. You don't get any questions on module 1, by the way. You don't get any show me, tell me's or eyesights or anything like that. You just meet the examiner at the time of your test. You sign the declaration. At the moment, you've got to have a neck tube to cover up your face, or a face mask. And then he'll open up the gates to the facility and let you in. So when he opens up the gates, lets you ride in. Remember, you're on the test when you've met him. So even in the car park, remember your control position when you're moving away. And remember the standard that you want to be doing to getting into gear, control position, moving away, your mirrors and shoulders before you move away. And this is even before you get into the test centre facility, okay? Yeah, checking his speed and not paying attention, Janine. I'm going to go into that in a moment. When I get onto the high speeds, I can give you some real good top tips not to looking down at your speedo. It's all about planning. Okay, so let's stick to the manual handling. First exercise, number 1. So the examiner will open up the gate, and depending where you are, the gate can be located up there, anywhere. So, but ultimately, when you do get in, ride into the gate, remember the observation control position. He'll open up the gate, you ride through, you close the gate behind you, just wait for him, and then he's going to ask you to go and ride into the bay. Now, depending where you are on the facility, but we will always encourage you to go and park up on the right-hand bay. Yeah, so you've got the slalom figure 8 behind you. Park in the right hand with the yellows behind you in the Now, mirrors shoulders before you move off. Control position before you move off. Really, really important. Set that standard from the start, even before you've gone in it. Set that standard, and then you're going to think, oh, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. And all you're going to do is park your bike in the bay. 8 green cones, 2 sets of 4 green cones, and that is replicating a parking bay. When you park your bike in the bay, make sure it's in there and you're not sticking out. Doesn't matter if it's slightly at an angle or anything, as long as it's in the bay, in those 4 blue cones. Remember not to hit a cone over when you're getting riding in there, when you're getting off the bike, when you're walking around your bike. Do not hit a cone over. That is considered to be a serious fault and will result in a failing of the test. So don't hit a cone over. Now, the procedure for going into that bay is ride into the bay, put your machine into neutral, turn the engine off, put the side stand down, dismount the bike, and in that order. Now, can anybody tell me why we do that in that order? Can anybody tell me? Just let's see if everybody's paying attention. A little teaser for you. Can everybody tell me why I park the bike into the bay, I put the bike into neutral, I turn the engine off, the stand down? Can anybody tell me? Once you've put the bike, been practicing U-turns, managing to do it in a single car parking bay, Darren, routine. But why is it that routine, Darren? And I'll explain why. If you don't put the bike into neutral and turn it off, then you're going to be pushing, and it's in gear, you won't be able to push it. And also, if you try and put the side stand down with the engine running, you could kick the gear lever accidentally and control. So if you do it in that order, it's the safest routine. It's the safest routine. So you're not allowing anything else to happen. So always be safe. Yeah, it's always going to be safe. Good evening, Andy. Andy is Fortune HD. Thank you very much for joining us. Correct, if it's not a neutral, I can't use it. So do it in that routine, put it on the side stand. The examiner then will explain to you what he wants to do, which is to push the bike around so it's in the opposite bay and you can only go backwards. So what we're going to do is take the bike, so left hand on the left handlebar, right hand on a grab rail, fixed point on the bike, upright, kick the stand up. Before you move the bike, you can look over both shoulders and then you're going to push the bike around so it's in the opposite bay, facing outwards. Now, all your examiner wants to see is that you are able to move the bike safely and in control. So don't lean it so it feels heavy. Don't try and turn the steering if the wheels aren't moving. That's dry steering. You'll always find you can move the steering if the wheels are moving. Look where you want the bike to go. Do not hit any cones over. And you don't have to do it, push it around in one go. You can go backwards, forwards, as many times as you want, as long as it is safe and as long as it is in the opposite bay, facing the opposite way. That is job done. So what do people fail with on the manual handling? They will fail if they hit a cone over. They would fail if it's not in the bay. They would fail if they drop the bike. But it is a fairly straightforward manoeuvre. And I always try and think of it as that you're just pushing it from one parking bay to another in Tesco's car park, or you're just coming out of the garage at home. You're pushing it out. So it's quite a straightforward, manoeuvre. So once the manual handling has been completed, the examiner will come back over to you, have a little chat. He might ask you, I don't know, the small talk really, but he will explain the next exercise, which is the manual handling, which is the slalom and the figure of 8. So the slalom into the figure of 8 in one complete exercise, and you must continue the figure of 8 around the blue cones. So through the yellows, figure of 8 around the blue cones, and you must continue with that until he calls you out. And he generally will ask you to complete 2 figures of 8. So that is the next exercise, slalom and figure of 8. And this is a slow speed maneuver exercise, and we would recommend 6 or 7 miles per hour. So get a rhythm. The slower you go, the harder it is. And this is where you're going to be that slow speed coordination, where you're feathering your clutch with your gas and combining it with your rear brake. So slalom and figure of 8, about 6 to 7 miles per hour. You're going to get on the bike. You can start the bike up into the control position, first gear. You're going to check your mirrors, you're going to check your shoulders before you move away. And then you're going to continue with the figure of 8 until the examiner calls you out, at least 2. Don't look at the cones because they're target fixation. You go into them, look where you want to go, let your peripheral vision work, get that rhythm, And, you know, the bike will move quite nicely. So the key to that is also relax. The key to it is to get that momentum going. Look where you're going. If you miss your observations moving away, if you hit a cone over, if you put your foot down whilst you're riding, these would all be problems on your test. It's more likely that you're going to fail. Now, I have had people put the foot down and pass. I've had people put the foot down and fail. And the examiner, I think I don't tell people you might pass if you put your foot down. I tell people if you put your foot down, you're going to fail. But it's not over until it's over. Examiners, if you put your foot down and it's just a dab, they say, well, it wasn't to controlling the bike, it wasn't holding the bike up, and they've got away with it. But I do not tell people that they might pass. I tell people if you put your foot down, you're going to fail, and keep it like that. Don't want people putting the foot down when they're doing that. Question came up as well: is a stall a fail? If the bike stalls whilst you're riding, there's a very good chance that you're going to put your foot down. So yes, that would be a fail. But no, not necessarily a fail if you're just maybe you're moving off to start the exercise and you stall. Because it might get a minor fault. Yeah, no observations. We teach that if you do not look around before you start your manual handling, you are going to struggle on your test, Philip. Yes, you are going to struggle. And in the briefs at the beginning and during, the examiner will remind you many times that you must treat all of your exercises as if you were on the public highway, and that's where he wants you to be looking around as if you were out on the roads. Driving in wet, how fast is safe? Not a question I can answer. I cannot give you a speed because speed is relevant to the conditions and visibility and so on. But yeah, so you know, you're not going to get up to speeds if it's raining and wet. You're going to come down a little bit, but how far down will depend on the severity. But be conscious of following distances, 4 seconds, double it. Be conscious of how you use your brakes, 50-50, and be conscious, you know, that you need to demonstrate that you are taking into account all of those conditions. Malcolm, what CC bike do you do module 1 on? Well, that depends what category of license that you're going for. If you're doing an A1, it will be a 125cc. If you're doing an A2, it will be a 395cc or more. If you're doing a category A direct access, it will be a 595cc or more. And most schools will have a variety of those. So check with your local school. They'll be able to help you with that. Been using tennis balls cut in half, using them as cones on my local industrial rate, simulating exercises in module 1. Yeah, all these things will help you. All these things will help you. The feeling of it being a test is what puts me off. The exercises are easy to make correct. Hence, one of the biggest, what do people tend to fail on? What the most common thing that people fail on was a question a little bit earlier on, and it's it's ultimately nerves that are going to contribute to you doing something. So yeah, just pretend it isn't a test. Just do your best, relax, enjoy it, and you wouldn't be there if you couldn't do it. So that's how I sort of try and work it out. So yeah, slalom and figure of 8 slow speed exercises. 6 to 7 miles per hour is a good speed, a good rhythm to get that bike flowing nicely. And don't do it too slow. Don't do it too slow. The slower you go, the harder it is. Okay, so looking good, ladies and gents. So slalom and figure of 8. The next exercise, so your examiner will call you out and ask you to put the bike into neutral. And it could be on either side, depending on whether it's a left circuit or a right circuit. For instance, this one is a right circuit, but anyway, so the examiner will call you out and he will ask you to pop the bike into neutral, and at that point you can just relax, and he may have a little chat with you again, a bit more small talk, just try to get you to relax, because they do want to get the best out of you. They don't want you all tense. So the next exercise is where you're going to be riding slowly in a straight line, stopping with your front wheel in the box of 4 blue cones. So you're going to ride the bike slowly, stopping with your front wheel in between the 4 blue cones. Now, start in the first gear control position. I had a blank then. First gear control position before you move away. Mirrors shoulders before you move away. Front wheel stopping in the box of 4 blue cones. This exercise wants to be about 4 miles per hour, so it's slower than the slalom figure 8, and you can go slower in a straight line. It's more controlled, that you can fight those controls. So observations before setting off: where your front wheel stops in there in the 4 blue cones, and the examiner is going to walk behind you, and what he wants to do is see that brake light on, so you can give it more drive, you can give it more revs, you can give it more rear brake to tighten the bike up to get slower in control. Okay, so, and what a tip I always use is the POM, prepare, observe, maneuver. So get the bike wanting to go, get the bike stretching before you even go. So that's preparing it, get your observations in, and then you can just sufficiently release a bit of pressure on the back brake, and you can control that slow speed right from the start. Front wheel stopping in the 4 blue cones, so about 4 miles per hour. Once you've stopped with the front wheel in the 4 blue cones, again, pop the bike into neutral, or the examiner will remind you to put the bike into neutral. So you're doing manual handling, you're doing slalom, your figure of 8, and you're doing slow speed in a straight line, front wheel stopping in the 4 blue cones. So what do you think people struggle with on that exercise? Well, they struggle with the fact that they forget their observations before moving off. That would be a problem. Foot down, going too fast, And also, people don't stop with the front wheel and the 4 blue cones. It's quite a big box. Make sure your front wheel stops in the box. If it doesn't, then it's not gonna be successful for you. So you need to be practicing that with your instructors. You know, combine this with your lessons. Front wheel must stop in the box of 4 blue cones. If it doesn't, that would be a problem. Okay, so do specific test centres always do a right circuit or a left circuit, or do they mix it up randomly? Depends on the test centre. If it is a multi-purpose, specifically built multi-purpose test centre, they should have the facility to do both a left and a right. But some test centres are a bit more casual test centres, and it might be one or the other. So yeah, we will have some. Used to be one in Chadderton that would only did a left, because of the layout of it. It was quirky. Macclesfield used to be just one, whereas a purposely built multi-purpose test centre would have both. So when they have both, they would, yeah, it just depends what examiner, how they decide to do it. Yeah, I was told to put every test centre is different. So on our bikes, so on the Z400s for the A2, we would say get up to 3rd gear. On the 650 category A's, we stay in 2nd gear because it has better engine braking. But you're right, it does sound a bit busier. But you know, every training school does, you know, have their own ways. But listen to your instructors. But we favour on the A2 bikes 2nd to 3rd. On the A bikes, stay in seconds for the 32 miles per hour. Yes, Michaela, always recommend putting the left foot down. Now it's a funny one, that, because it's what we teach, and we teach it at CBT level. You know, when I trained to do CBT training 20 years ago, it was what you train: right foot covering the rear brake, left foot down. And I always have taught that, and always still teach that. That's the standard that we teach. I was at a test centre about 12 months ago, and a lady was on a test, and she, every time she stopped, she put both feet down. Every time she moved off, both her feet were down. And that was on every single exercise on Mod 1. And my trainees were watching from a distance and said, oh, she's not going to pass. She's going to, no, well. Anyway, 10 minutes later, she comes out of the office, all happy. I've passed. And I thought, well, I need to speak to my CBT enforcement officer. And he couldn't believe it either. He said, well, the trouble is there's no fault recorded. She's not recorded. There's no fault recorded. Putting your right foot down is not a fault. She stopped, she moved off. She stopped, she moved off. It's not a fault. But we don't teach it, because on the road, if you have both your feet down and you moved off, and you were on a T-junction moving off, and then something suddenly came in, how would you stop? You turn in, both your feet are down, you go for your front brake, then you'd fall off. Then it would be a fault. So anyway, on tests, it wasn't a fault recorded. They couldn't record a fault. But it's not the standard that you'd want. If they can then, if that's what they're doing it day in and day out, that's how they're going to go out onto the road. When they go onto the road on a nice new bike, and they do that one on the T-junction, turning at an angle, and then they're going to fistful a front brake, they're going to fall over, because they haven't been taught why we use the right foot covering the rear brake. Hope that little explanation helps. Yeah, so hopefully that will help you, that little explanation. It's not a standard you want to be riding as a normal. It's not. What is the next exercise then after slow speed in a straight line? It's the dreaded U-turn. It's the dreaded U-turn. So the dreaded U-turn is next. And as I say, I'm going to do I'm going to do a video. I'm going to do a video on my top 10 tips to complete a perfect U-turn. So watch the channel. As soon as the weather improves, I am going to do that. So, U-turn. Now the U-turn on module 1 is 7.5 meters. 7.5 meters. You could get a tank around there. And people have it in their head. People have this in their head about the U-turn. Now, it's very important. What I teach with the U-turn is to use the space that you've got, maximize the space. Don't go round the U-turn like a figure of 8, where if you're leaning your body with it, counterweight your body, look where you're going and stuff like that. And speed again, momentum. So again, 6-7 miles an hour is a good speed. So you're in the control position first gear. Check your mirrors, check your shoulders, moving away. Get comfortable. Get a bit of momentum. Very important to get that right lifesaver before. So lifesaver, then turn, not together. And look where you're going. Don't lean with the bike. Put down, feed the clutch a little more, get a bit more drive, ride out of it. Look where you want to go. It can be done. Do not do it too slow. First gear exercise, slow speed coordination, get your speed right, get your observations right. Don't lean with the bike. Look where you want to go. It can be done. All right, so the U-turn, what you're going to struggle with is if you miss your observations, if you go outside the white line, go on the white line is a minor fault, so go out the line, white line, miss your lifesaver, put your foot down, fall off the bike, don't go for your front brake, look where you're going, and it can be done. And any of the exercises, if you're in any doubt, if you're not sure about them, get another lesson with your instructor. Get another lesson in. Don't go there if you're not 100% comfortable. You can do it, and it can be done. And I think one thing most people will come to us and have an issue with is the U-turn. Yeah, U-turn. Do you have to go from line to maximize? Use the space that you've got, because in a way it's curb to curb, and you wouldn't do a U-turn in half the width. So maximize the space you've got, and you have got 7.5 meters. So yeah, do it white line to white line. Don't look at the white line when doing the U-turn, or you'll end up on the line. Target fixation. Focus on a spot just before the line. Yeah, everybody has lots and lots of tips. Do not start the U-turn between the lines. Yes, you do. You don't want to be going outside the lines at all. The last test centre, they had the perimeter fence right next to the white lines on the U-turn painted. Yeah, can be. Yeah, most times the U-turn is at the side, definitely. Yeah. So once you've completed the U-turn, that is all of the slow speed exercises completed. So manual handling, slalom figure of 8, slow speed in a straight line, and the U-turn. That's only going to take you 5-7 minutes. It's done. And then I think if you when you get to that point, then just relax. Just relax, because a build up to that can be this figure of 8 or the U-turn, but relax then as you have done it. The slow speed stuff. Then comes the high speed stuff, which is the hazard avoidance, which is measured, emergency stop, which is measured, But before that, you get what is called a controlled stop. So control stop speed is not being measured, emergency stop, and you've got the hazard avoidance. So everybody okay so far? Any questions coming my way? Any questions on the slow speed stuff while we're here before I move on to the high speed? What are we in? 50 minutes in, so crikey, nearly an hour gone already. So once again, thank you very much for joining myself on the RJH live stream every Friday evening at 8 o'clock tonight, talking about Module 1. Please subscribe, please like, please share, please comment. Set your reminders on for next Friday already. There is a scheduled live stream talking about your first big bike. So lots of top tips on what big bike you should be going for or looking at. So please do set your reminders on. Can you do the U-turn tighter than the 7 meters given as long as it is completed safely, as in you don't have to be right next to one? No, you don't have to be, but don't come back over on the same side that you're on, because it is replicating the road. It's curb to curb, it's replicating. So you don't want to come over too far. You don't want to come a couple of meters back in, because that would be a problem. You need to be parking up, the other side. So I'd say be sensible. You have to be within a certain distance of the white line. Yes, you do. You need to be within the white lines. So best maximize it, but don't go on it. Loving the V-Strom, yeah, good. V-Strom's nice bikes. We use a lot of different SV650s, Z650s are what, and CB650 we are using. So Honda, Kawasaki, and Suzuki we are using. Right then, so looking forward to the big bike chat. I reckon I know every bike on Auto Trader. Yeah, well, so I'll be picking your brains then. Yeah, I'll be picking your brains. I mean, when you are turning your head to do the U-turn, don't focus on the line, focus just in front. Yeah, that's how I managed to do it. Yeah, you don't want to be looking at the white lines. That's not a good thing to do. Z650s are a good bike, yes. Right, let's get back to the sheet. So all your slow speed stuff is down this bottom half. Now you're going to be going up to this top half. And this one, you can go from the U-turn, you're going to be going around. The first exercise is what he calls a controlled stop. So it's a controlled stop. He's looking at how you're stopping and where you're stopping. But also it's what we call a sight lap. So you're going to go around the top end, no speed needed, stopping, front wheel again in the 4 blue cones. So it's a good opportunity if you've not been on the facility, and we don't train on the facility, we never have, but it's a good opportunity for you to have a go at getting up to speed. So if you can go around the top bend at 20, 19 to 20, straighten her up, come through all the cones, get yourself up to 32. Why not? Have a practice. But the important thing is stopping with your front wheel in the 4 blue cones. Now, he's not measuring the speed, so don't worry if you don't get up to speed. He's not measuring it. All he's doing is measuring, looking at how you're stopping and where you're stopping. So your front wheel needs to be in the 4 blue cones, and he's looking at you doing ABC, off the gas, front, back, brake, clutch in. So, but great opportunity for you to have a little go at getting up to speed. Whilst your front wheel's in those 4 blue cones, you're going to put one on, so you'll only have. But what he is looking at is where your front wheel is. So make sure your front wheel is within the 4 blue cones of that box. So that's the controlled stop. The next exercise would be the emergency stop. And this is where then you need to get up to speed. So you're being measured at the second red with the yellow. So when you come around the bend, so you're going back up around the bend, we would say in second gear on the big bike, second gear, 20 miles an hour, around the bend, 19 to 20. When you exit the bend, we want you to get your speed up to 32 minimum. You're being measured here, but we want your speed here at between 32 and 35. And this is going to be the last time that you look at your speedo. Do not look at your speedo coming through the cones. Get your last look at the speedo at the first red cones. Now, 32 miles per hour is between 32 and 35 miles per hour is roughly 5,000 revs, second gear. So 20 up to 32, 35. If you're coming around here at 5 or 10 mile an hour, you've got some work to do. So plan it where you're coming around at about 20 up to 32 to 35. You're coming through the red with the yellow, and the examiner will put his hand up for the emergency stop. Now, you need to stop as quickly and as safely as you can. A, B, C, that's off the gas, front brake, back brake, clutching after the brake, so you're not ghosting. Got the engine braking. Most schools now run bikes with ABS brakes, best braking system you can get. Now, if your examiner's down here somewhere, you don't want to be riding down to him to stop. It's not going to be successful. You need to be stopping as quickly, as safely as you can. Now, the faster you come through here, the longer it's going to take you to stop. So don't be silly. Plan it where you're coming through at 32 to 35, and then stop as quickly as you can. Use those brakes progressively, firmly, but you don't want to be using those brakes harshly. So getting yourself up to speed on the emergency stop, and then responding to the right hand or his hand coming up, and stopping quickly but safely. This is one of two exercises that you can get a second attempt if you're not up to speed. And there is a 5% tolerance, so 50 kilometers per hour is 32 miles per hour. 49 kilometers per hour, 48 kilometers per hour is acceptable, minor fault. 47 kilometers an hour or under is not acceptable. It's a minor fault, and you can get a second attempt. If the examiner tells you, I do not want you to do that again, I will not ask you to do that again, then that's fine. Yeah. If the examiner says, right, you need to turn around, you need to have another go, you're not fast enough, ask him what your speed was, because you might have only been 1 kilometer short. So make sure that you're aware of your speed. Make sure that you're comfortable on these exercises, and make sure that you do. And so he's going to get you to do it again, or he's happy with it. So either way, you get to turn around. The final exercise would be the hazard avoidance. So the hazard avoidance is where you need to get yourself back up to speed again, 32 to 35. So you're going to be going around the top bend at 19, 20 miles per hour again. Come out of the bend, going to get your speed up, 32, 35, and now you're going to be coming through the blue and then straightening back up and parking up in between the 2 blue cones. Remember, those 4 blue cones will now be 2 blue cones. So the hazard avoidance, come around 19, 20, build your speed up 32, 35. Very important, the last look at your speedo is these first red cones. Don't look at the speedo when you're coming through. Then you're going to lean the bike over, through, straighten her up and stop. Don't look at the cones coming through, target fixation, let your peripheral vision. Likewise, again, you might have to do it a second attempt if you're not fast enough. If you are, fantastic, job done. So bear that in mind. And once that's completed, remember, you then open up the gate and let you out. And remember, you're on test, and you're even on test when you're parking up afterwards. So very, very important, your standard, your observations and everything, you're carrying that right the way until you're off the bike at the end, back in the room where he will debrief you, okay? Faults, you can get 5 faults, 5 minor faults and pass. 6 minor faults is a fail. one serious or one dangerous is a fail. Missing observations, hitting any cones over. If on the high-speed manoeuvres you have 2 goes and you're not up to speeds, that would be a serious fault. So if you don't get up to speed on the second attempt, that would be a serious fault and that would be unsuccessful. And on both emergency stop and hazard avoidance, you do get that second attempt if it's not up to speeds. And if you don't stop in between the cones after the avoidance, that will be a problem. So there's a pattern of all those faults going around. It is not uncommon for us to get people passing with 0 faults. We get that quite a lot, 0 faults. If you're doing what you're doing in training, you will get 0 faults. So, and that's module 1. Once you've passed your module 1, on and off in 15 minutes, once you've passed your module 1, you get another certificate. Put that in with all of your other certificates. Ready for your module 2. What have we got then? Let's have another little look. Johnny, nice bike. Johnny, it's a 675. Claire, nice. I'm fancying a CBR. Nice bikes. We use those at RJH Wigan. And I was unaware of the 5%. Yes, 5% tolerance under the speed. It's not over, so you can go over 50 kilometers per hour, but the faster you go, the harder it's going to be. So be sensible. But 5% under 50 kilometers per hour, second attempts. If you're outside of the 5%, under second attempt. Good evening, Chief Mr. Cook. Thank you for joining us. And Graham's had a good week this week with tests. And so as I said earlier, ladies and gents, we have had an absolutely appalling week with appalling weather conditions. So, you know, it's a hard job when the weather's been grinding us like that, but it's supposedly getting better. No celebratory wheelies in the car park. No. Yeah, interesting that, Rob, because we had somebody a couple of weeks ago that went to the test centre on their own bike, rode it there as well, but doing that sort of thing. I mean, speed. I saw them one week. The speed they went off round the bend and coming out, they failed, and then next week they were going again. And Graham saw him, and he's putting a wheelies on the test centre in front of the examiner. It was terminated. Off you go. Janine, right, folks, I need to go. Thanks for the great video. As always, enjoy your hotel break. Thank you very much, Janine, and good luck with your module 1. Why so little faults when it's 15 on a car test, Dave Smith? Good question, Dave. So module 1 is 5 faults. Module 2 is 10 faults. That is the 15 equivalent to the car. 5 on module 1, 10 on module 2 is the equivalent of 15 on the car. Although 5 doesn't get carried over into the module 2, but it's 5 on module 1, 10 on module 2. Another little story for you as well, Rob. I was at a test centre last week and somebody come up. I thought it was on a building site. He had all his building gear on. He parked over in the car park. And he came over to me. He said, "Where do I go, mate?" I was at a test centre. Lots of schools, lots of tests going on. He comes over. "Where do I go for my test?" "Okay, yeah, so what? Where's your bike, mate?" I said, "Well, I got a test in half an hour." I said, "Oh, right." He said, "Well, I'm meeting him here." I said, "Who are you meeting?" He said, "Oh, I don't know. I booked it online." I said, "Well," I said, "Don't know." Anyway, he thought he booked a module 1 test online through the DVSA, and he thought they provided a bike and everything for him. He's rocked up in his building gear. So wasted £15.50. That's another little story for you on module 1 test. So that is what that's about, an hour. And I think we've talked about 33. Very good, 33. Happy with that, ladies and gents. As I said, I am away, room with a view. a secret location. I can't tell you. It is top secret. Sir Zenon, subscribe to the channel. This playlist of live streams, go back a week or two. There is module 2, but I am going to do another module 2 next week. But go back a couple of weeks, and there is a live stream on module 2. I've gone through everything of module 2, but also, Sir Zenon, there are a lot of module 2 videos on this channel. Test routes, there's lots of them. They cannot ride their bike to test unless they're doing it on 125, but people ride and park around the corner and push it around. You see all sorts. You see all sorts. Yeah. Hey, Rob E, I could tell you a few stories. We could write a book on it. Confessions of a motorbike instructor. Confessions of a motorbike instructor. I'm telling you now, there are a few of them. So module 1, that's the subject tonight. It's all pretty much been done. Well, yeah, no, he did. This one did. He rode it to the test centre. And then when he was when the test was terminated, he got on the bike and rode it back out. Well, you know, we're not the law. It's not for us to judge, but it doesn't go down very well. But you do see it all happening. You do see it. And then other people will put a bike in a van and sort of get to the test centre on a van and bike in the back, take it out and stuff like that. You see all sorts of different things going on. But module 1, how long has it been out? Module 1 came out in 2009. It was due to come out in 2008, but it wasn't ready. It came out in 2009, April 2009. No, I'm not an examiner, and I wouldn't want to be an examiner. Couldn't take a pay cut. Simple as that. An examiner, I don't think. It's not what ticks my boxes. I like to be an instructor. Great videos. Passed my warden last week with the help of your videos. Fantastic. So watch out. In a couple of weeks, mod 2 videos will come out, and go back in the playlist. The beauty with the live streams is they are there. You can play them back. So a lot of people do come back and play it, and come back and play it, and comment away. I'll always get back to you. If you've got any specific questions, fire away. And if I can help you, I will. So Angry Panda, so what's stopping you, mate? What Angry Panda, what is stopping you? We introduce instructors into the industry. I've got another instructor training course coming up at the end of May, but I've recently got a few through being trained now. So yeah, it's a good industry to get into if you don't want to do a day's work in your life again. So praying there will be some summer left by the time I pass on. What do I know? Tell me about it. It's not looking good at the moment. Summer seems to be, well, I don't know where it seems to be. But yeah, so next week's video, if you've not seen already, set your reminder on it, because next week I'm going to discuss top tips about what first big bike to go and get. So top tips on what first big bike to go and get, because it's one of the most popular questions that people ask us as instructors. What bike should I go and get? Yes, Angry Panda, you have to have held your license for 3 years. You need to be over 21 years old. 2 weeks ago, there was a live stream. It's on the playlist. 2 weeks ago, I did a live stream on becoming a motorbike instructor. So go back to it and have a look. Don't shoot me, Michaelo. I'm only the messenger. Summer begins in August, when my holidays are. Yeah. August, I think I'm having the month of August off. I think I'm taking myself out for the months of August. I'm going to go on a bike tour and down to Spain, but I'm going to do another long trip for the month of August. That's my plan. So I'm getting my passport, I'm getting my tent, and I'm going. And that's going to be for the month of August. Malcolm, thanks, Rob. Great chat and info. Thanks for your efforts. Enjoy your break. See you next week on the stream. Malcolm, thanks for joining us, mate. Lucy Hall, any tips for St. Helens Mod 2 test route? Got it next week. Yeah, we've got a few on our. Got a few. We want to do some more for St. Helens. St. Helens is a busy test centre. So you're going to get Paul, or you're going to get Darren, or you're going to get Rob. So there's 3 examiners. And what I would say to you, Lucy, is watch some more videos, top tips. First 5 minutes, last 5 minutes, got a lot of information on Module 2 tests. But in St. Helens, get on with it. Get on with it. Just show you're safe. Just show you're safe. Enjoy it. That's what I would say. Has a lot of roundabouts, St. Helens. So big roundabouts. Don't just change your lanes. Make sure you're getting your observations in. If you think you're going the wrong way on a roundabout, just go the wrong way. It's not a problem. Don't try and correct it. Mini roundabouts, get your speed down. But yeah, lots of. St. Helens is a busy test centre. Busy test routes in St. Helens. So stay focused. Don't interfere with anybody. And just show them what you can do. What personal bike have you got, Rob? Honda CBF 1000 GT. CBF 1000 GT. Only got the one. I am thinking just got ordered a little Honda CB 500X. So for teaching on. So I've got Honda. I'm a Honda man, really. But I am looking at something, I think, treat myself for this year. I've had a busy year and treat myself to something, whether it's another adventure, BMW adventure. I think if I'm going to go on a nice long trip again over into Europe, I want to get a new bike. So watch this space. You need to vlog your August trip. Yeah, I will do, Dave. I mean, I've got a playlist on the channel of my last European adventure, 5,000 miles, 8 countries. There is a playlist, Stelvio, or not Stelvio Pass, but Swiss Alps, France, Belgium, Germany, Luxembourg, Switzerland, Italy, Spain, 5,000 miles, 8 countries. And I did a lot of video on that one. Play it back, some good ones. CBF 600, nice bike. So I've got the 1000, and it's basically it's a Fireblade with the bodywork, but it's nice. I love the back end of it. The panniers, the top box from the back end, it looks stunning. But yeah, I've had it for about 4 years now, just over 4 years, and yeah, it does a job. Wouldn't want to travel on distance. It's great, nimble, fast, speedy, be sensible, but good for instructing. But I don't think I'd want to go. I took it up to Scotland once, but I wouldn't want to do a European trip on it. I'd rather get the sort of 1200, something a bit bigger. The GS Adventure, I've had a couple of those. I think I'm probably going to go back to one of them, but we will see. Yeah, it's all changed slightly. Yeah, it's all changed. But yeah, I just want it to the COVID thing to be sort of a bit more relaxed as well, so that you're not sort of having to think about. So August, I think, will be better. So I've booked August off anyway. I don't plan anything. Passports, the fuel, tents. I don't plan it. Just go. So that will be the plan. So module 1 is the subject tonight. Anything else on module 1 coming through then? Everybody happy with their module 1s? Module 1 tests. Everybody happy with that? Anything coming through? Still looking at that 100 views at one time will be the free CBT. So free CBT to anybody on answering the correct question, or one-off question. Once we get to 100 watchers. Robbie, I've booked a CBT for the end of June. Where have you booked it, mate? Have you booked it with us? Have you booked it with us? Because we have, we're quite fortunate, and we're talking to some of our local South Wales, very, very nice. Talking to a lot of schools, you know, not getting CBTs not available until July and this sort of time. So, and we sort of have weekly availability because we've got numerous sites and we've got numerous instructors. So fortunate that we're able to get people booking for next week, you know, so it's not a problem. Ball bag, I'm not happy with mod 1 emergency stop, seems like a con. What are you not happy with, mate? Let me know. I can see if I can help you out with it. What is it you're not happy with? Ian Wellington, I can't see the live stream. Well, I am here. Hello, I am here. Tests are being eaten up. I'm struggling to get module 1 booked. Correct. Module 1s at the moment are in short supply. Yes, they are indeed in short supply. Technical question. Have you ever used waterless coolant? No, I mean, if I'm honest with you, I'm not a mechanically minded rider. I tend to, basic stuff, but I will pay somebody to do my bike for me. So if you Google it, I'm sure you will come up with some good recommendations. So I will leave that to my colleague, Mr. Google. I failed too. I've been failed twice, ball bag. What on the emergency stop? Are you not stopping quickly enough? Are you not getting up to speed? And another question I always ask people is, what age of bike are you using on your test? What age of bike are you using on your test? So, you know, what is it you're failing on? You're here now. Ian, you passed your module 2 this week. Thanks for letting us know. It was last week, but congratulations down in Swindon. And yes, indeed, good man. Glad the videos helped, and thank you for your continued support. Swindon on Tuesday. Yeah. Swindon on Tuesday. Good man. Swindon, busy, busy place now, Swindon. It's grown in the last 10, 15 years, and it's continuing to grow. So you're going over, so ball bag, you need to plan. If you're going over speed, it is going to take you longer, but you put more pressure on yourself. What age bike? Have you got ABS on your bike? Ian, it is an achievement passing your full bike license. People don't realise, but it is an achievement. And it's a long process. The 4 stages, CBT, theory, module 1, module 2, you have to be focused. You have to be determined. You have to dig deep at times because your emotions go like this. Yeah, your emotions. What is the end result is worth it. But Ian, now you will start learning to ride. That's the way to look at it. Now, you've passed your test, but now you will start learning to ride. Okay, so you got ABS, so you're not stopping short enough. So yeah, you need to be stopping as quickly as safely as you can. Just get that bike stopped. ABS is the best braking system you're going to get. If you're struggling with it, practice it with your instructor. Practice it. Claire, yes, you were. You know, you have to dig deep. Ball bag, you will. Your emotions go like this. But you have two choices. You give up or you don't give up. And you don't want to let the DVSA beat you. Yeah. Stay focused. You can do it. As Claire says, don't give up. Don't give up. So keep going, Claire. Yes, definitely. It's worth practicing on my 1 to 5 until I get a test book. Is it worth? Yes and no. That's what I would say. If it's a 1 to 5 manual and you're doing a manual, if it's a 1 to 5 automatic that you've got at home and you're doing your test on a manual, no. So as long as it's manual, I don't see why not. Yeah. But if you're auto at home on a CVT and you're riding a manual on your test, ditch the auto, it'll interfere. If someone was to pass on an A2 at 2 years or 24 years old, so if you pass your A2 at 19, 2 years after the A2, you could be doing A in 21, or so it's 2 years or 24, whichever's the earliest. Don't give up. It's a manual, right? Yeah, why not? Yeah, why not? Saddle time, why not? Yeah, why not? So quite a lot of interest tonight then on module 1 again. What we've done, peaked at about 32 people watching, I think. So set that reminders on, ladies and gents, for the next week's first big bike. Not a problem, mate. Rob, yeah, not a problem. I'm going to pop down and have a drink afterwards. I think at the hotel that I'm at is quite a nice one. So I should go and have a nightcap. Are there distances for cone placements available online? Yes, there is. There is a distance for close placements. Motorcycle manoeuvring area, MMA dimensions. You see that? And that is available online. Ball bag. I think I need to be braking straight after the speed trap and practice. Yeah, I mean, you do, but you don't want to be starting braking until this goes up. Yeah, so if you bought a 125, yeah, get out there and enjoy it. Get out there and enjoy it. Practice makes perfect. Combine it with some quality instruction from an instructor. Right then, so we're not far off, I think. We're wrapping it up. We're about 9:30. Any other questions coming my way then before I retire? So been on about an hour and 25 minutes. Goes so quickly when you're on this live stream. Can you get one-to-one training for Model 1 and 2? We can, but it's going to be a premium price because at the moment as well, where schools are so busy that, you know, an instructor can train 2 pupils. So, you know, certain times of the year when it's off peak and stuff, you can get by chance one-to-one. But if you want specific one-to-one, I think it's going to cost you at the moment double what it normally would, because the school, you know, needs to maximize its profitability. Yes, Darren, you can. So this one I've got is to scale. What I'm going to do, I don't know whether you can get but it's got the measurements and everything. But this is online somewhere. I'm probably not going to be able to get the link for it tonight. But when I get back to base, I'll search it out and send it. I'll put the link on the description below of the specific. Because like here, so there's 29 red cones, 20 blue cones, 11 yellow cones, 18 green cones. So, and it's the measurements where they go, the measurements. So what I will do is dig that out and put it. If I don't, Darren, remind me. If I don't, remind me. But I've printed it off, so I can't remember where I printed it off from. It's on the gov.website somewhere. So I will try and remember and put it in the description below. If I don't, remind me, okay? Because it is quite handy. Quite handy. That's Tesco Park car park coned off tomorrow morning now. Yeah, anything like that. Nice bit somewhere is very handy. You found it. Pop the link down below, mate. It's a gov. Link, I would think. Pop the link down below so everybody else can, if they want it, they can, can't they? Google Mod 1 test plan. Brilliant. Have you got a link, Darren? Yes, ABC ball bag, accelerator, roll off, front brake, back brake, clutch. A, B, C. Front brake, back brake. Front brake, back brake. Thanks very much, Angry Panda. Thank you very much. So yeah, watch back. Any questions, I'll always get back to you. Philip, I've posted the link in the chat. Yeah, add it to the comments after, or if not, just message, email it over to me, Darren. I'll put it in the description below, or I'll probably do that anyway. But it's a useful one. So, so I think what I'm going to do then, everybody, I'm going to call it an evening, and I think we've done really well there for Module 1 purposes. Do play it back, and next week, as we said before, is going to be the first big bike live stream. You've been going through at 40, is that miles per hour, 40 miles per hour? That's a bit fast, isn't it? You don't need to go that fast, because if you're going at 40, it's going to take you long to stop. You only need to come through at 32, 35 tops. William mate, twin for that. Thank you, Rob. Enjoy your weekend, mate. Cheers, mate. I'm back into Manchester in. I'm back into Manchester on Sunday. In fact, I might be able to do it now, Dave. So I've got it. Yeah, I've got the email, Dave. So I'm going to put that in the description below. I'll wait until I've finished, but I will put the in the comments below. So I'll put that on there. But for now, everybody, I'm going to get going. Thanks for joining. Stay safe. See you all next week. Hopefully the weather will be better. So all the best, ladies and gents. Okay, so bye for now. Bye.